Welcome, peeps, to a very special episode of the Shady Corner Lewdcast. It's your boy Shades, and today we're interviewing our first ever LewdTuber, known as LewdNeko or Neko-chan. She mixes gaming with pleasure, a consumer of visual novels such as Honey Pop, Wolf Tales, Negligee. I mean, I've tried going through all of your VODs, but there was a lot of them, so... and also reading them, obviously, in your sexy voice. She is also known for, as she said to me in DMs, sex positivity and kink education. Welcome to the Lewdcast.
Oh, it's awesome to be here.
So first of all, tell me more about this kink education.
So I don't I'm not a kink expert by any means. I have a lot of theory though. I've been intensely interested in it ever since I was probably 12 or 13 and had free access to the internet. I was Googling a lot of stuff in secret. So whenever I see people talking about kink or BDSM and they have a question, I I've been known to pop up in Discord servers out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, here's a fun video that you should watch about how to do that kink safely." So people even joke about it. They're just like, "Oh, you have a question about BDSM? Just wait for Neko to show up and tell you."
That's actually really cool that you're looking at the safe ways of doing a kink, because you do hear about those sort of horror stories where it's like, great, I have my foot caught in a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's so cool.
Yeah, especially I remember distinctly when 50 Shades of Grey hit theaters, and obviously there's been a lot of
Oh,
discussion about 50 Shades of Grey is not an accurate representation of BDSM, but really no
no.
BDSM porn is, when you watch a video on Pornhub, you're not expecting a 10-minute discussion beforehand. But
Oh, of
unfortunately, a
course.
lot of vanilla people or people who aren't familiar with BDSM watched the movie and were like, I'm gonna go home and do this, and people got hurt. And that just made me sad because, there are fun and safe ways to practice stuff like that in the movie. You just have to know what you're
Hmm.
doing beforehand.
Oh, of course. I mean, I used to work a long time ago. I worked as an usher at a cinema, and when 50 Shades of
Oh
Grey came out in the
gosh.
theaters, there was so many
Oh
girls that came
no.
in, and there was a bunch of girls that came in with zip ties.
Oh,
They were wearing zip ties on their
oh my
arms,
gosh.
and one of them got too constricted on their arm, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is why we shouldn't be." You need to
Oh.
know, like.
I
But
remember
yeah,
hearing a
I
lot of
can
horror
understand.
stories of ushers finding, cucumbers in the theater and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, carrots and stuff. Yeah, we had a fair share of those. That's for sure. I mean, look, I mean, we found that sort of stuff in normal movies as
That's
well. But
that
yeah,
that's
50 Shades
fair.
of Grey amped it up. Yeah. Um. So, what made you want to become a LewdTuber?
Think it was kind of like a spur of the moment decision. And I think this happened with a lot of people during quarantine, is a lot of people were like, huh, I have all this free time all of a sudden. I'm gonna go pursue a dream or do something I previously didn't have time to do. I had always wanted to do streaming or content creation of some sort, but obviously you always come up with an excuse. You're like, I don't have a good enough computer. I don't know how to edit videos. I don't know how to stream, so I'm not going to do it. But I was just so bored, honestly. I was like, I'm really into visual novels right now. I like
Hmm.
reading them. There's so many I like that aren't voice acted, and I would love to just read them to people. But I had this issue where I was like, well, a lot of the ones I like are also pornographic, and I can't exactly do that on Twitch. So I literally typed in adult gaming, and I found Plexstorm, which was where I started off. And I
Hmm.
didn't want to show my face because ramifications and whatnot. So I started off using a
Hmm.
face rig of Bowsette.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
just I bought face rig. I found a random model of her, and I was just like, I'm just gonna put this in the corner while I read, so people have something to look at. And that was technically my start. It was about a month or two before I found out about VTubing. I had known Kizuna Eye and stuff like that, but I always thought oh my gosh, they must have really expensive mocap. There's no way I could do that. But this was right around the kind of VTuber explosion that happened over the summer. Where
Hmm.
stuff like Vroid was getting really popular, and you could
Oh yeah.
easily get a model and a webcam and start VTubing. And so by June, I actually had model, and I'm an official VTuber now.
Oh wow. Okay. Um. So that was going to be my next question: is how did you come up with your model design and your persona?
I have so I was briefly using there's a program called Vkatsu, which is the Koikatsu engine but safe for work, and you can make like a VTuber model. Though technically they're not allowed to be used for profit. So I only used that model for
Okay.
like a month while I was waiting for my
Mm-hmm.
Vroid one. I literally I think I came up with this design in one day. I know some people have like
Oh
a
wow.
lot of thought and time that they put into theirs, but I was like, what are things I find sexy and cute? The pink hair in particular is actually inspired by some lewds I took for a partner in the past, where I was wearing a pink wig and I always really liked how it looked on me. So I was like,
The deep, deep
yeah,
lore that I'm
deep
getting from
lore.
this is
So
crazy.
I was like, I'm gonna have pink hair then, and cat ears, and the cat lingerie is pretty like iconic hentai meme attire. So that
Mm-hmm.
was pretty much it. It was just like me being like, what do I like?
So I noticed obviously that you've got hand motion control. What equipment are you using for VTubing, and is the rig a heavy setup?
Right now, it's not so. Okay, I can't get like one in my hands. So this is a leap motion. It is very fucky. Let's just say I don't use it
Mm-hmm.
too often during my streams because you have to be in like you have to have your hands in a very specific area for it to actually track. And if it like goes off, it can get like kind of crazy and stuff like that. But yeah, that
Oh, so you actually don't have equipment attached to your hands. It's just
I've
it's literally picking it up off the
Yeah,
camera.
it's like a camera that I have strapped to my chest. It's about like right here.
Oh,
It's pretty
okay.
small. It's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be used like it was made for like as a development tool. So like if you wanted to model something, you could like put it on your desk and use your hands in the software to like do shit. And then, people started using it as like a tracking software, which is why it doesn't work great for tracking. It's not really meant
Mm-hmm.
to be on your chest or to be tracking your hands like while you're talking. But right now, like it's
Yeah, of
literally
course.
that and a webcam. I have like no VR equipment yet because I am actually functioning off of a gaming laptop. Would not
Mm-hmm.
recommend it, but it is possible. Though hopefully I'll have like actual like VR and better tracking in the future. That's my current like big goal.
Oh, of course. I think that you know right now, especially with equipment, obviously you can start very small and then work your way up. So I think like I was quite impressed when I saw your hand motion tracking when I was watching one of your streams, and I'm thinking you must be like rigged to the nines with just equipment. But that's crazy that it's just like a little camera that's like watching your hand movements.
Yeah. It
That's so
definitely
cool.
gets very intense. I know a couple of like lewd streamers who have to wear like full mocap bodysuits, like headsets, like all of
Hmm.
that while they're trying to be sexy. I can imagine that's quite difficult.
Yeah, I still don't understand. Like, I think that the age old question for me is when someone is wearing like a full headset and full equipment, and then they're trying to give a blowjob because then it's like are they not like smacking into someone with equipment? Is there not cables hanging out everywhere? Like I'm waiting for somebody to trip over in the background or some shit. um, what is your favorite outfit to wear while you're streaming?
Like IRL or like my model.
Oh no, your model. Like
Well,
IRL, you can wear anything you want. It doesn't
yeah,
really matter,
that's the
does it?
fun
So
part, right? Like half the time I'm wearing
yeah.
like my workout clothes. Because they're like kind of comfy. My favorite model
Hmm.
outfit. So one of the things I have been enjoying about Vroid has its limits. It's like a very limited software. If you don't want to go into Blender and Unity and like do a bunch of crazy stuff. But one of the
Hmm.
benefits is it's really easy to just like change colors and change outfits and stuff like that. So I do have like a goth version and a Gyaru version of my model, which
Oh,
has been
nice.
fun to use. Because I love to do stuff like that IRL. Like I have so many wigs and I love playing with makeup because it just makes you feel like such a different person. And I like having like, some days I want to be all goth and edgy, but some days I want to be pink.
So, LewdTubers are coming up in the ranks now against obviously
Mhm.
VTubers. How are you finding the LewdTuber scene at the moment?
It's really crazy like how big it's getting. I mean, it used to be obviously that there was only like two or three. I know there was Jenny Starveling. I think she's actually technically possibly the first. She's doing all of her stuff in Second Life though, so that was like even like pre the term Lewdtubing. And then I believe Vex Ruby, and like Project Melody were
Hmm.
like the two big ones that like people are familiar with. They have amazing tech. They have like amazing backings. Vex Ruby in particular is connected to like a company, so she has like some
Hmm.
really cool tech in her streams. Um, but definitely like over the summer and especially now, I mean, I see new LewdTubers like almost every single day, because they usually will follow me and I check out their page and I'm like, oh, there's another one and another one and another one. So I do definitely now that like I think VTubing in general has become more accessible, and as sex work is becoming not destigmatized, it's still definitely very stigmatized, but definitely like there's less
Hmm.
stigma around it. I think a lot of people are more open to trying lewd tubing.
Oh, of course. Especially, like you were saying, you able to cover your actual identity. So
Hmm.
obviously that obviously covers that base. Um, Going through your link tree yesterday, I noticed that you're. I don't know how you're managing to doing it. From streaming games, you're doing collabs, and you're even doing movie nights in your Discord. How are you keeping up with all that shit? And what is your secret?
Oh God, it's insane. One, you don't get to have much of a social life anymore. Because like I'm going to school. I'm currently in grad school as well. So I literally have to plan out like every single day where I'm like, okay, I literally need to do all of my readings on this day because I have a stream, and then I need to like talk to someone about like something collab related on this day, and then I have like stuff to do in my Discord this day. So
Oh, of course.
maintaining a good calendar is very important. Like you have to schedule time for things, otherwise you'll spend way too much time doing something or it won't happen at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean I only stream like 2 to 3 days a week, so it has been like kind of convenient. I think the nice thing about like streaming video games is it doesn't feel like a job. Like there's definitely still like a lot of work you have to put into it, and it's so different from just sitting down and playing a game. But it's still like relaxing, so I don't have to like be like, oh darn, I have to stream tonight. It's like, oh yay, I get to kind of like take a break and play a video game and chat to people for a bit.
um, I noticed that obviously with the crazy amount of content you're putting out for people to consume, are you finding that websites such as Xvids and ManyVids are a good platform to upload? As you know, obviously other sites particularly have sort of cracked down on independent lewd content. Are
Yeah.
you finding that those websites are good?
ManyVids has been amazing. They first contacted me like right when I started Lewdtubing. They actually DM'd me. They
Hmm.
were like, "Hey, do you want to sign up for our service and put up your videos there?" And at first, like whenever I get DMs like that, I'm like, "Okay, this is a scam," or like something like that. But then like I actually looked into it, and I was having at the time I was trying to upload to Pornhub, but they kept taking my videos down. I would like I
Hmm.
have like a very safe for work persona let's play. Like nothing like
Hmm.
really sexual ever happened in those streams. But just because I was using an avatar, they would be like, "Oh, this is non-consensual. You look underage. Like we're gonna take your videos down," even though I was verified too. Um,
Yeah.
so that's when I started uploading to ManyVids, and they have been awesome. I've never had issues with their website so far. Cross my fingers. Uh,
Hmm.
but like it was super great, especially since I can put up stuff for free. I thought at first like it was only going to be like charged videos, but they definitely let you. I have so many up there for free, so that has been really nice. Xvids is like so-so. They're
Hmm.
definitely like obviously after the Pornhub purge, it's hard to find any like hentai-ish content on there because they kind of just take it
Hmm.
down automatically if there's not like a real human in that video.
Yeah.
Xvids is a little bit more open to that. I some of my videos get taken down for copyright, which I don't know why, and I can't really dispute it. Like it's kind of like YouTube, where I'm
Mm.
pretty sure like anyone can report your video for copyright and they just automatically take it down. Like too bad. Um, but
Oh
that's
yeah.
only happened to a handful of them, so it's not like the worst.
That's really cool that they reached out to you to say, "Hey, look, you can upload your content here." That was actually really cool of them to do that.
Yeah, I've personally had like a really good experience with ManyVids. They also have like really good customer service. Um, like I
Wow.
had an issue with my stream where like my whole page wasn't loading, and they actually had like live like text-based like tech support that was able to fix it like almost instantly, which was like kind of crazy for me.
Oh, amazing. So, what's a dream collab slash stream that you would love to do?
I've talked about this before, but like once I definitely have like a VR like headset and like full body and all of that, I really want to have like
Hmm.
a Lewdtuber sleepover. Uh, like
That's awesome.
like sexy pillow fights, truth or dare, like makeovers, like the whole thing.
That is so cool. I love it. um, so what games? I obviously know that's visual novels, but is there any other particular games that you like in the lewd scene? Ones that you play on stream and off, and is there any games that you'd like to see that you could play as a lewdtuber? Is there any games that you would want in the scene?
I love Honey Pop so much. I loved Honey Pop 2 so much. I played I think when I played it on launch day, I literally like I think I might have actually skipped a class to stream it for like 12 hours. Um and then like not only that, but like even after I stopped streaming it, I was going for all of these achievements and I was playing it during my lectures since they were all online due to quarantine and all of that. So, I was paying attention, but I was also playing a hentai game. Um, I also, it is
Oh,
kind of
cool.
fun, combining like safe for work games with kind of like sexual, games to play along with them has been fun. Like I've been doing a lot of stuff with Dead by Daylight where like if I lose, I have to
Hmm.
punish myself in a certain way. And
Hmm.
like there is also services like buttplug.io, and yes, that is what the website is
Yeah, I'm
called.
very familiar with them.
Um,
Yeah,
I really want to look into setting it up because I know they have like an Overwatch plugin, and I like playing
they
Overwatch,
do.
so I would love to be able to see if I could get that to work because it could be a lot of fun.
We're actually at our company that we're making games at. We're actually working on making a lot of, especially the love ant stuff. We're
Mm.
making it streamer compatible with devices.
Oh,
Would you be keen to be a test subject in the future if
hell
we sent you a stack of
yes.
keys?
I would be so down for
Awesome.
that.
Yeah, because one of our games is a kart racer, and then another one we're doing is like a fighting game as well. And we want to basically
Oh.
put in user feedback, as it were. So obviously, if you're power sliding in the cart or you get hit, and we were thinking this is either going to be really cool or it's going to like somebody's going to be like, I had to go to
Oh
hospital.
god.
So not too sure yet, but yeah, I'll keep you noted on that in the future.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a blast. It's so cool how sex toy technology is progressing.
It
Like
is
the
crazy
future
cool.
is now. It's all of these things that like we dreamed about, like, oh, what if you could control a toy from halfway across the world? And like, everyone's ultimate dream is like sex robots, right? Like, I'm
Hmm.
convinced we're gonna see sex robots like in this lifetime. I really hope we do.
Oh, I think we would too. I mean, one of the reasons why I blew up a little bit on YouTube was I was the only there's a game on Steam called Custom Made 3D. I don't know
Yes,
if you've
yes,
heard of
yes,
it.
yes.
Mm. So in Japan, there actually is a peripheral that comes
Yep,
with the game, and it's a
I'm familiar.
USB. Yeah, so I was actually one of the first people to actually do a full review slash let's play with the owner hole, but I'm actually one of, and I still don't know if there's anyone else yet, but I actually for a brief period did speed runs with a few video games using the
That
controller
is amazing.
rigged up. Yeah, so I'd like rig up like a Sonic game, and obviously like you make the thrusting makes the jumping, and it's like it's obviously an endurance stream, so you've got to kind of pace yourself, but you want to be on time. So yeah, it was great for a while, but after a while, it's like yeah, it's the friction's kind of getting to you,
Yeah,
if you know
I
what I
I can imagine.
mean. Mm,
I've joked about how like I want to do like a Honey Pop 2 speed run eventually. I've because like it's actually not on speedrun.com. Like it got rejected.
hmm.
So you have to go to like a Discord server or something to even see the leaderboards. But there is a Honey Pop 1. There are speed runs for that, which I think is funny.
Oh wow. I'm hoping that they will open that sort of thing up because we recently added a speed running mechanic to one of our lewd games called Marble Made, and now you can do speed run. There's like a speed run mode and there's a
Ooh,
time trial mode. And we recently had a lewd tuber start speed running the game because she's a professional
that's
speed runner apparently.
awesome.
Yeah, so like I like the fact that there's this sort of bridge coming over now where there's these people like I want to play the game as fast as I can. So yeah,
I
it's good.
love speed running, so I'm so into that.
Mm. Where do you prefer to stream? I noticed that you stream on Chatterbait and many
hmm
vids. Is it to separate the content, or are you performing different things on different sites?
So Chatterbait doesn't allow like any form of gaming. They have like very strict rules because they want to avoid like any form of like copyright stuff being held against them. Granted, they're like one of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest camming sites, so I don't really blame them because I do think something I see coming in the future will be like Nintendo shuts down a cam site because they allowed a Nintendo game to be streamed, while a cam girl was doing something. Like if it
Yeah, of
happens, I'm
course.
gonna bet it's gonna be Nintendo because they're very strict about their IPs. Um, but there are some campsites that do allow it. I mentioned Flexstorm. There's also ePlay is one I've seen lately that is like specifically marketed as naughty Twitch, which makes perfect sense to me. I'm
Nice.
almost surprised that like it's taken this long for, a campsite to really focus on that. But I use ManyVids for my gaming streams because ManyVids allows VTubers and they allow gaming because you need both of those things. There are some campsites that don't allow VTubers. Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, so ManyVids is for my gaming ones, and then Chatterbait is for just like my regular chatting and talking kind of streams.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, so with streams, particularly with YouTubers, they're known for using toys to interact with the viewers via tips and gameplay. Do you find it tough to make it through some of the sessions, and can the chat be mean to you in a good way?
I I think I'm lucky that I have the body I was given because I have a lot of endurance. Um,
Okay.
So far, I've never had a stream that like physically I felt awful after, or like I was like, "Ow, everything hurts." I cannot let that happen again. And I did recently have a stream with a Nora toy, where I had 17 orgasms in the span of like 2 hours.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that you shared a clip on Twitter
yeah,
actually, and I was thinking to myself, is she going to be okay to do the interview? I
yeah.
might have to ask.
No, I was actually surprised by how okay I was the day after. I slept very well. I was definitely my legs were a little sore, I will say. I think maybe exercising lately has helped as well because like I've been doing like Ring Fit like every day. Um,
Oh,
so like maybe
nice.
that's also given me some like endurance. Yeah, tippers can be mean, but it is like the fun kind of mean. Because I'm actually very bad at like controlling the toy solo because it's hard to think and control a toy and have
Oh,
fun.
exactly.
So it is kind of nice to literally just like give the control to someone else and be like, okay, you're in charge.
So you were saying before that obviously you got to have time management because obviously you're studying and then you're doing this as well. But I have to ask, are there some games that you're playing outside of streaming when you're not online, or do you have time at all?
Um, Before school started, there definitely was. I sometimes I'll even take like if it's not like with visual novels, I kind of know I'm gonna have stuff to talk about because obviously I'm gonna be narrating, so it'll be entertaining to that degree. But with other games, sometimes
Mhm.
I'll take them for a spin to see if it's the kind of game I can talk about. Because there are some games where I'm
Mhm.
just like I don't know what to say. Like I've been playing a lot of Idle Manager. It's a recent game that came out that I was really excited for. It's like a management sim. And with that one,
Mhm.
I don't really have much to say because a lot of it is just me like clicking and thinking about things. And I like listening to podcasts while I play management games. So like those ones
Nice.
typically are like my off stream, I just want to kind of like chill for an hour or two kind of games.
When you're not streaming, and when you the sonar is not on and it's everything's off, right? And well, I assume so. Or does your life as a Neko continue outside of the social media space, or do you find that you're still able to have a normal, I guess, other activities outside of streaming and studying?
No, yeah, I think it's really important to also have like and you know a normal life or to do things outside of my apartment and from behind a screen. And I think a lot of us definitely felt that during quarantine when we were
Hmm.
all forced to stay inside. And it started out as a dream. It's like, oh, cool, I never have to talk to anyone. And then after a while, I was like, wait, I actually miss talking to people. What? Um, so, like right now, like I just moved, so I'm still kind of in that phase of like I don't have any friends yet, and making friends when in your 20s is weird. Um, so I'm figuring that out. But even just like I will go to like a coffee shop on the weekend and like read a book and drink some coffee. Like that is like my form of like self-care, like getting out of the house, being around people, and just doing something that I like. Because if you're constantly in VTuber mode and you're constantly making content, eventually you're gonna hit a wall and you're gonna get super burnt out and you'll have that moment of like, oh gosh, I don't enjoy this. And I don't want to
Mm.
hit that wall. And so far I haven't. I would say I've had a pretty good job at like balancing how much is too much. But yeah.
Knowing your persona hides your IRL self, I noticed yourself and other streamers sometimes treat the viewers on social media to parts of the real life you. Do you feel that there is a side to you that you like to share when you're off camera?
I do. I've been like posting some photos of my body from like the neck down, so to speak, just to hide my
Hmm.
face and stuff like that. And I've been enjoying it. It started off where I was just taking some like pre-workout photos to kind of like be like, hey, I'm on this like health and fitness journey and here's some like motivation. But I definitely know like I've taken some like sexier ones. And particularly recently, like whenever I have a stream crash or just not work, which will happen sometimes, I'll post like a sexy photo to kind of be like, stream ended early, but hey, look, here's a nice little prize.
Oh, so it's a consolation
Yeah, yeah,
prize,
yeah.
basically. Yeah, yeah. um, I also noticed that you do lewd audio and you also did some ASMR. What made you sort of get into that route?
I'm obsessed with Mar. I listen to it like all day. Like while I'm studying, before I go to bed, sometimes just for fun. Like there's so many
Hmm.
ASMR videos that like aren't remotely relaxing, but they are entertaining. Like there's like these insane like role plays and like cosplay videos and stuff like that. Um, but it's definitely something I'm hoping to do more of in the future. I have some like
Hmm.
tech things I need to buy to like make the kind of content I want to make, but I'm really
Hmm.
interested in making like some YouTube safe like ASMR and role plays and stuff, but also like maybe like combining fetish stuff with ASMR. I think that could be fun.
Nice. Honestly, like I'm a big fan of ASMR stuff. Like what you were saying before, there's some that I like to listen to relax, and then there's some where it's like guy at cabin is he's the landlord at a shady cabin up in the hill, and then it's like a 40-minute lore video of this guy whispering at you, and you're like, I'm kind of invested
Yeah.
now. I kind of want to see this through. Like,
Like some of them are like
no, that's
cinema. There's like these really long ones where it's like a
yeah.
full work of art.
Yeah, it feels like they've got an entire crew of people working on one ASMR video. Can agree to that for sure. Um, have you ever considered doing voice acting, or would you want to ever do voice acting for a project or like a lewd game?
Oh, definitely. Like one of my long-term goals is to one day have a fancy XLR mic, because I use a USB one right now, which isn't
Hmm.
acceptable for most like voice acting projects, for understandable reasons. But like when I
Hmm.
started out, doing VTubing, part of it was also like I do a lot of acting, or I used to do a lot of acting, like IRL, like plays and stuff. Um, but I don't have time for it anymore. I can't go to like rehearsals for like 3 hours like every single or every other day or whatever. And I was like, that was just making me so depressed. I was like, I miss acting so much, but it's something I can't do. And so like voice acting a visual novel kind of gives me that like same rush. So it's, it's a form of, and streaming in general is like a performance. Like I'm not being like fake or anything, but it's definitely like a heightened version of yourself because you're constantly thinking about like, how do I entertain all of these people? Um,
Oh, definitely, definitely.
yeah, so like,
I think I was going to say, like, you get to a point where you might get too into a game and then you get a little bit distracted. So then you think, I haven't talked for a while. Like, I should probably talk a little bit more. Those sort of
yeah,
things.
I'm really happy. So I took like about a year or so of improv classes, like my senior year of high school. And I'm so thankful for
Hmm.
that now because I feel like it's given me a lot of like, ability to just reach inside of my brain and like if I can't think of what to talk about, I'll just bring up some like random fucking topic and go off on it for like 10 minutes.
Oh, that is awesome. um, so I was perusing your Twitter and I've got a couple of questions for you. Um, Tell us about the Quake and why did you decide to buy a jackhammer of a toy?
So those were actually gifted to me by some like very generous
Oh wow.
viewers. I have a Lovense like wish list function. So like my
Hmm.
Nora and the Quake were both bought to me by viewers who were just like, here's a fun toy, good luck. Um, and I have the Nora, obviously I give a 10 out of 10. I'll be finding out how the Quake shakes up tonight. Though I already have a feeling
Hmm.
it'll be pretty good.
Well, I mean, it's called the
Yeah.
Quake, so I mean, I'd never even heard of the Quake. I'd heard of a lot of the
Yeah,
other ones,
it's
and I was
it's
like,
like
whoa,
pretty new.
okay.
I think it came out in like the last month, and it's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for because I have the Lush too. But unfortunately,
Hmm.
internal vibes are like not my cup of tea. They just don't do much for me. And I remember looking at the Lush 2 and being like, why doesn't the top part vibrate? And that is literally what the
And
Quake
now,
is.
yeah, I was gonna say, and now that covers all your bases.
Exactly. Two for the price of
Do
one.
you, two for two for the price of one, definitely. Do you think that you could bring back the keyhole sweater?
On my model or on me?
No, IRL, because I saw you post
Oh,
that too, and I saw that, like, I was like, that is a very dated meme, but I was really interested to see that you posted that as well, and I saw somebody comment saying, "Wow, I haven't seen one of those in a while." Do you think that you could bring that
I
back?
love keyhole sweaters because like I've worn that like in public like to events and like people don't think it doesn't strike normies as like a fetish thing like
Hmm.
necessarily because like keyholes like on dresses have been a thing for forever, you know. It's like a very easy way to make a dress or a shirt sexier is to just add a little keyhole in there. I'm looking forward to wearing it as it starts getting colder. Like I walked outside this morning and I felt a breeze and was like, "Oh shit, fall is coming."
uh, who is your favorite character in Nikopara?
Coconut. She was actually the inspiration for like my ears look like this
Yes,
because
you are cultured. I love it. Sorry, carry on.
yeah, my
Continue.
ears and tail my tail's fluffy. I don't have feature my tail in a lot of my models due to like weird tech stuff, but my
Hmm.
tail is canonically fluffy because I always liked Coconut's really fluffy tail.
Nice. Have you actually played there's meant to be a new one. It's like an all guys cast?
I haven't played it yet. I was super disappointed by the fact that it's not lewd. It doesn't have porn in it. And I was like,
Wait, it's not
yeah,
lewd?
it's not. I was like, fuck, god damn it. Because there
Oh.
is like, oh, it sucks being a girl who's into like arrow gay because right now the market doesn't think women are like interested in porn or sex. So like most otomes
Mm-hmm.
are, which are like, dating sims for girls, basically. They might get a little saucy, but a lot of them don't have like outright sex scenes. There's like two that I'm aware of that have been translated, which is Fuck Me Royally, which I was a little disappointed with,
Mm-hmm.
and Fashioning Little Miss Lonesome, I believe is the other one, which I've heard is also like that same vein of like a little disappointing. I think they're by the same company as well. Where it's like you get like one or two sex scenes throughout the course of like the entire game. And I'm used to like Eroge where it's like you get a lot with every single girl. There's like none really like that yet, which is so disappointing. So I'm hoping if they ever make like a Neko Para boy version 2, that they consider adding some lewd content.
Because I assume like the Nekopara the boys edition, it's meant to be a a guy going to see them, right? It's not meant to be, or
I think
is
it's
the
a
main player
girl.
a
Yeah,
girl?
it's a girl. And I believe it's also a little different. And like I said, I haven't played it, but I've heard stuff about it. So I don't think the girl
Oh,
even
okay.
talks that much. It's like a lot of just listening to the boys. Because like in like these kind of otome fears, voice dramas are like or audio dramas are very, very popular. Just listening to
Mm-hmm.
a guy's voice while he talks to quote unquote you. I know that's like a very big
Mm-hmm.
draw for a lot of otome fans. So I think that's what they kind of like marketed it as. It's also free, which was a little concerning to me because I totally would have paid money for, a sexual male catboy otome.
In the lewd tuber scene, who is someone that you look up to, or some friends that you would like to shout out?
Ariadne Lilly, she is amazing. She's a YouTuber who draws hentai. So she draws hentai during her streams, like while people are buzzing her toy. It's incredible. Um, we've been like following each other because we both kind of started around the same time, and like she drew a fan art of me on her stream, and literally some of her fans came into my DMs and were like, "Hey, Lily drew you, and she talked dirty stuff about you. You should tease her about that." And that was like how our friendship started because I showed up in one of her streams. It was like, "Hey, I saw that drawing," and now we're like best friends. We've done a collab. I get to talk to her a lot. Hikiko Mocha. She's a newer. Well, she's been in the community for a while, but she only recently started streaming. But I'm doing a collab with her today, and she is also awesome. She is adorable, and I'm just so excited that she's making content now.
Big question. What is some advice to an aspiring lewd-tuber?
Ooh. I so my biggest advice before you start is to like, and this is going to be like kind of serious advice, but to think about like the long-term implications of what you do. And
Mm-hmm.
like I don't want to like sex shame anyone, but like I do have to consider that like could someday someone hear my voice and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're LewdNeko." Like I have to consider that, or like someone could find your information if you're not careful. Like I've done a very good job at like erasing any internet presence like connected to me. Um, but I before you start streaming, like be careful what username you choose, be careful what emails you're using, stuff like that, because people are crazy on the internet, and unfortunately, all it takes is
Mm-hmm.
one crazy person to try to find you. Especially, okay, if you're using like PayPal, please get a business account. I see so many VTubers that have their full legal name attached to their PayPal. That's so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It is, yeah.
so like definitely like think about stuff like that before you start making a lot of content because people can also get like obviously you might get a fan who's obsessed with you and like wants to date you, but you can also get people who just hate you because you're a sex worker and they want to like take you down.
Which I still blows my mind that people want to take the energy to literally go out of their way to message someone and go, "I don't like what you do," and it's like, well, you didn't have to tell me that. You can just keep it to yourself. But some people are so weird.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I've actually not had a lot of like quote unquote haters, at least not yet. I'm grateful
Mm-hmm.
for that. But I have some YouTuber friends. Like, it's just some of the craziest like messages.
Is there any plans for model changes, costumes, or upgrades to your design? Tell us what's on the horizon.
Oh, definitely. So my big plan right now is to get my big girl PC. I'm so excited to eventually, be able to get a PC because then I'll be able to get VR. I also just won't have to worry about like games crashing, um, and stuff like that during streams. And then definitely a model upgrade, I would say, is on the later horizon. There's a lot of modelers are just like overwhelmed right now because everyone wants a
Mhm.
fancy model. I'm kind of lucky I got in like at the time I did because it was like kind of before like that sorry, my hands. It
That's
was
all good.
kind of before that like huge rush came in and like there wasn't enough modelers, but everybody wanted a Vroid model or just a VTuber model. So a lot of them are like booked out for months right now. And you also have to like for LewdTubers in specific, you have to find ones who are willing to do NSFW models, because a lot of people don't do that or they don't specialize in that. So I definitely eventually I want to get like a fancy schmancy model with lots of like nice physics. I've seen some
Yeah.
like of the VR chat type ones that can do some really interesting things.
It's crazy how intricate some of them really get with their designs and the emotes and the way that they can. It's crazy because like 5 years ago you wouldn't be able to talk about this kind of technology, and now people are like, "Oh, I want to look like this," and then that they can just look like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've seen so many like
Mm.
really cool designs. Even like Live 2D has like I've seen some really insane stuff that people are able to do with Live 2D models.
Yeah, I again the animation community. I know somebody who's working on a sex rhythm game, and he makes like he gets the 2D images and then he animates them, and he makes them look like butter. Like they just
I love
move so
that.
smoothly. It's so good, and I'm like, I wish, like, watching his stuff because he's using like a live 2D thing. I'm like, some models don't even move this smooth, and yet you make the sex scenes move in such a smooth way. It's crazy cool. Yeah, it's just so
Yeah, I've
awesome.
been seeing a lot more
Um,
Live 2D in like just porn games in general recently, and it adds just such a beautiful flair.
oh, of course, yeah. Oh, and if you want any more lewd game recommendations, or if you want to get in touch with any lewd developers and stuff, our Discord has pretty much every lewd dev under the sun. So if
Um,
there's any games that you're after or anything, I will definitely shoot you over a link.
it's been really cool. Like I've had a couple like loot devs in the past like reach out to me or give me like keys so I can play their games on stream. And like as a like mega visual novel and porn game fan, I have like little fangirl moments where I'm like, oh my God, Senpai noticed me.
Before we end the interview, I wanted to give you the floor to promote not just your Twitter, but any other handles where people can find you, and of course your future projects and streams.
Yeah, so I'm LewdNeko or LewdNeko Nya on most platforms. Twitter is the best place to go where I'm at LewdNeko Nya because I have like all of my links posted there and I post like when I stream and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm on ManyVids and Chatterbait currently. My ManyVids also has all of my VODs, so if you want to check out my content before coming to a stream, that's a good place to start. I'm LewdNeko on ManyVids. As far as future projects go, I have like lots of collabs, I would say, on the horizon, which are fun. Like I said, two for the price of one. Um, it is also like, it's one thing to watch two girls play the same game, but it's entirely different thing to watch two girls play the same game while certain things are also happening.
That's very true. Um, I will put all those links in the description and obviously in the pinned comments when this video comes out. Thank you so much, LewdNeko, for coming out today and having a chat with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And to everybody who's listening, don't forget to go follow those links, give this video a like, and we will see you on the next one. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.